Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to improve our math skill. Today is our day number 10. Yesterday we learned this word gratuitous and superfluous, and I was trying to make a point there that do not confuse the word gratuitous with the word gratuity. And what happened was that I forgot to put the word gratuity in my list. I just put it in so that we can learn the word properly in the future. Gratuity, it just means tip, a bonus, an extra payment. Oh, that reminds me of all the good words, which is, let's start out with the vocab, why not? Let me erase everything here. I was just talking about the word gratuity, and that reminds me of other good words to know. A very interesting word. Let me first look it up. Just like I always say, I don't mind making a fool of myself, but only after I have looked it up in the dictionary, and then I'll make a fool of myself. There you go. I don't know how to spell gratuity. This is a different word I'm looking up. The word is perquisite. 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 What's a perquisite? A perquisite, of course you know it, because we use it all the time, except when it's abbreviated. The spelling is used different one. People use this spelling here, PRK, and they go around talking about perks. Do you have any perks at your job? At your job? What are perks? Perks are extra payment. They are something. It doesn't have to be payment in a monetary sense. They're just extra things that you get from your employer in addition to your regular salary. These are bonuses. These are tips. These are extra payment. That's what a tip is. A tip is something above and beyond or what you're supposed to be normally paid, which is what a gratuity is. Which is why I remember this word all of a sudden. A perquisite. But people don't say perquisite. People go around saying perk. There is no such word. Perk is an abbreviation of this word, perquisite. And when it's abbreviated, the Q is dropped and it's replaced with a K. Don't ask me why, but that's what it is. Perk is not a word. So next time when people talk about perks, they're talking about perquisite, which is a gratuity. Let's see if we can actually look it up, the word gratuity, before I start the math lesson today. We still have not done any math lesson, which is what we are here for. But once I get going, this is very difficult to stop. I have this uncontrollable urge, and I do not know how to spell gratuity because it doesn't show up. So like I said, when the time comes, I'm putting it on my list. When the time comes, we're going to learn these words properly for our vocabulary lessons. And if you're interested in doing vocabulary lessons with me, it's very simple. Just type in the tag Keshwani Prep -vocab, just like this one. Instead of math, you will put down vocab for vocabulary day 9. And all the words that I covered on day number 9, you can learn them. I'm putting the word perquisite and gratuity in my notes here so that we can cover them in the future. I have not covered them on my videos. Perquisite. Enough said. Let's do the math problem. I'm going to erase it. Again, Perquisite. Perquisite. And the other word was gratuity. I'm very lousy at spelling. I'm not a good speller. Okay. The question for today is, how many positive whole numbers less than 100 are not equal to squares of whole numbers. That's the question. Question is, how many whole numbers less than 100 are not equal to squares of whole number? The very first thing that we have to realize is the terminology, is the language, is the structure of the sentence, the way they state questions in the exam, which is a very awkward language, not the kind of language that we come across in our daily conversation. For example, squares of the whole number is a... I was about to write bloody awkward way. Can I write bloody on the blackboard? I don't know. I don't know how to spell awkward, which makes me feel awkward right now. I think that's how... That sounds pretty awkward spelling of the word awkward. I don't know how to spell awkward. Let's substitute a different word here. Let's not say awkward. Because that spelling of the word awkward that I just put on the blackboard seems pretty awkward, pretty bizarre. Outre. Oh, that's a good word. If I can find it. I don't know if I'm going to find it or not. I'm going to put it on my list anyway. And I'm not going to say it again until I'm confident as to what it is. Because there's a limit to how much of a fool I want to make of myself. The square of whole numbers is a bloody annoying way of saying perfect squares. If number happens to be square of a whole number, well, we call that perfect square. For example, this number happens to be equal to the square of a whole number. This number happens to be a square of a whole number. This number happens to be a square of a whole number, namely 5. This number happens to be square of a whole number. A square of a whole number is what we call perfect square. That's what is called perfect square. But they don't call it perfect square. They don't simply ask you how many positive whole numbers less than 100 are not equal to perfect squares. Because that for some reason makes it too easy for people to understand. And God forbid if they should make it anything easy for you to understand. So that's what they're asking you. Basically what they're asking you is that from all the positive integers from 1 through 100, how many of them are not perfect square? Now the way to go about doing that is that if you're going to sit there and count how many numbers are not perfect square from 1 through 100, you'll be sitting there until the cows come home. Do you understand? It will take you forever and ever. The way to do that is to first find out how many numbers are perfect square. Let's find out how many numbers are perfect square. And then subtract that from what we're dealing with here. Let's find out. Let's find out how many are perfect squares. So we're looking for whole numbers. We're looking for whole numbers less than 100 that are perfect squares. Well, that's very simple. 1 is a perfect square because 1 is 1 squared. 4 is a perfect square. So is 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 7, 8, 64, 81. That's 9. And then 10 would be 100, but we're looking for less than 100. So we have to stop here. Let's count how many we have. Let's count how many we have. But there's no need to count. It's very simple. We have 9 because we started 9 squared. 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, so forth up to 9. So there are 9 numbers, 9 whole numbers 9 whole numbers, which is another awkward way of saying integers. So the question could have been written as, how many positive integers less than 100 are not perfect squares? How many positive integers, I'm going to underline it with a completely different color so you can see it, how it could have been written. How many positive integers less than 100 are not equal to perfect squares? We know that 9 of them are equal to perfect squares. 9 integers less than 100 are perfect squares. Question is, how many are there altogether? How many integers are altogether, starting from 1 and ending with something less than 100? Well, something less than 100, integer that comes something less than 100 is 99. There are 99 of them. There are 99 positive integers. There are 99 positive integers less than 100. 9 of them happen to be perfect squares. As you can see right here, 9 of them happen to be perfect square out of 99. Well, if 9 of them happen to be perfect square, and the question is how many of them are not perfect square, the answer is 90. 90 are 90 integers, 90 positive integers less than 100 are not perfect squares, or as you wish, or 90 positive integers less than 100 are not squares of whole numbers. That's it, we're done. That's all it was. I hope you found it helpful. I hope you found it useful. If you wish to get hold of me for personal private tutoring, either face-to-face or over the internet via Skype, go to any of these website addresses and send me an email. Or you can simply go to keshwaniprep.com and you can get hold of me from there as well. I tutor for GRE, GMAT, SAT and TOEFL. Alright, thanks.